Hi, I'm Pete from Project Heaven. Welcome to our workshop. It's been a long time since we've done a tour, so let's show you around. Okay, so this rather large vehicle is the body for the LaFrance racing car that we're building. So a custom build. The aluminium body is now complete, and we have lipped the bottom of the body shell over the steel frame, and Ed has now started fabricating all the aluminium internal panel work because that's going to get trimmed, possibly get trimmed, I'm not sure. They might polish it up actually instead. This is pretty much ready to go down to the paint shop now. We've also finished the dashboard off, which is custom made dash to suit the rest of it and all the clocks they've got. Yeah, I think he's going to make a battery tray here, and then that's about it for this. This will then go down to the paint shop and start having the paintwork done. Let's go have a look at the chassis in the other room. Okay, so here we have the chassis with the engine in. The engine's all properly bolted in and fixed in now, and the flywheel and clutch is all in, and the drivetrain connected. Ed's finished off making some fantastic swaged floors. They really look the part with all the rivets and the swages in. And the engine, that is all built and it's ready to run up. It turns over, but we haven't actually fired it yet for the first time, so we'll have to do that in a future video. That'd be quite interesting. I'm sure that's going to make a lot of smoke and noise. And all the rest of the rear end has been reassembled and greased and set up. So you might have noticed these monster things here. These are the drive sprockets for the chains for the rear end. Now these are huge in comparison to these sprockets, because what we're actually going to do is gear this thing up, because of course this was like a fire engine originally, very slow but powerful, very torquey. So we're going to turn these teeth off, re-drill it and PCD it so we can bolt these sprockets on, like that, and that'll then gear it up a load so we can actually get some decent top speed out of this thing. As soon as the body shell's back, it'll go straight onto this, and then we'll finish off the mechanicals and take it for a test drive relatively soon. Okay, so you may see this, seen this thing that's tucked away in the corner here. This is the Mercedes Pagoda shell that we've been stripping down and sandblasting in the blast room. And it's coming here now because we're waiting for some panels to turn up from Germany, which should have been here, but they still haven't arrived. But hopefully next week they'll turn up. And when they get here, we're going to then replace the floors, the boot floor, some of the chassis sections, and then it'll then go back in the blast room just to re-blast a few bits, because also we've got to physically scrape off some of the under seal that's on here because the blaster won't touch it. And then after that, it'll go into primer. So this one is getting a full-blown restoration, the absolute works, this one. It's going to come out looking amazing, just as good, if not better than the last one we did. Okay, so we're in the restoration room now, and in here we've got the Series 1 E-Type 4.2 litre. This came to us as a bare shell, so someone else had already painted the car, but the project really wasn't progressing, so we've taken it on, and it's going together pretty quickly actually. We started on this probably maybe 2 months ago, something like that, and we've got the engine all in, the wiring loom's all in, the brakes are on, it's plumbed up with fuel line, fuel tank, all the dashboard is in, cooling system, etc. So the next thing now is we're waiting for a upholstery kit to turn up so we can trim out all the carpets and the seats and everything. Yeah, it's progressing rather nicely. Okay, so this is the Lancia Fulvia Rally 1.3 litre, 1969. We've been restoring this one, although rather sympathetically. It's got a really good paint job, metalwork's all immaculate, but we haven't replaced everything. It's more of a sort of reuse and repair mentality we've had on this one, because it does have quite a lot of sentimental attachment for the lady that owns it. So we're not trying to remove all of that wear necessarily. We want to retain it, but everything needs to be working and functioning and looking in good order. So, for example, if you look in the interior, we haven't retrimmed the seats. We've cleaned them, sympathetically restored them, and the rear seat's now back in. We have made new carpets because the original flooring was rubber and it was in terrible shape. So all that carpeting is custom made by us. We've repaired the roof, but we haven't retrimmed it. We've just nourished it. So, and that does operate now because that was badly damaged. And the dashboard's been revarnished. We've now got all the windscreens in, as you can see. All of the wiring is working, all the electrics are in and working. The engine now turns over and it's ready to fire up, so that again will be a very soon video we'll do with it running up. Yeah, so it's looking rather good. So you may remember this DB4 from our Goodwood stand. It's back in the workshop now, and we're starting to lay out the wiring. Got the new wiring looms just turned up, and we're laying all that out and labelling it and about to put that in. Some of it's already in. The other thing, the main thing we're waiting for is a lot of the parts still haven't turned up. I mean, some parts for these Astons can be quite hard to get hold of. Okay, so this has just come in the workshop. It's an Aston Martin DB4, Series 4, Vantage, and Vantage means closed-in headlights, which is interesting because all the other DB4 Series 4s didn't have the closed-in headlights, and the only other vehicle to have them is the DB4 GT, which we've got in the other workshop at the moment. It's a very rare colour, this purple colour, and they made 136. But the reason it's in our workshop is because we have got to do some work here where it's had some accident damage. Obviously, it's been hit, and that's pushed this in, but it's also buckled the top of the wing, so the damage is a bit more than you might think. It's also bent it here, so it's not too much work, but we may have to remake a lot of this area. And then we've got to colour match it, but we'll scan it and colour match it in our paint shop, and I'm sure it'll be absolutely perfect. Okay, here we've got a Maserati Sebring Series 2. It's been resprayed in the correct colour, the blue Serra Metallazzo, which is the same colour that we've resprayed one of the other Sebring Series 2s we've had in here before. So it might look similar to a car from a previous video, but it is a different car. So we've been held up on this project because we're waiting for chrome to come back for the bumpers, because unfortunately to reassemble all of the petrol tanks and the boot and everything else in there, the bumper has to go on first. So it's very awkward as well, because when you're taking the bumper off, you've got to take the petrol tanks out, and there's two of them, and there's a link pipe that runs from one side to the other. It's a nightmare. But anyway, we're now able to get on with it. Also, we've put a new roof lining in this. That's why the windows are out. Well, the windows came out as well, of course, for painting, but we've also replaced the roof lining. So we're about to put the screens in. That'll happen next week, front and rear. We've also got to build up the bright work in the doors for the window frames, window channels, and put all the glass in there. And the bonnet's just about to come back from the paint shop as well, because they've just been polishing that. But it's a lovely colour. The paint shop have done a fantastic job on it. Really pleased with it.